It's 2026, a year that should have been our liberation. Nikola Tesla's vision of harnessing free, limitless ether energy was meant to reforge the world. But today, we're unshackling the truth from the vaults of suppression. The lies spun by the gatekeepers, the corporate conglomerates and academic cartels, buried this reality deep beneath patents and misinformation. Let's begin with the Wardenclyffe Tower. Constructed in 1901, Tesla's architectural marvel on Long Island wasn't merely a communications tower. It was a harbinger of energy autonomy. Made from a steel frame and wood covered in copper, its colossal structure was designed to tap into the ionosphere, converting atmospheric electricity into free energy. Yet its true purpose was cloaked. Consider the 1905 photographic evidence, showing the tower discharging violent bursts of electricity into the sky. Official narratives labeled it a failure, but these photos were conveniently lost in a fire. A fire, or a controlled destruction to suppress its successful test. Now, decode the mechanics. Tesla's design exploited resonant frequencies, using the Earth's own electrical charge. A massive coil 187 feet tall was the heart of this machine. It operated on principles that remain inexplicably unachievable by modern standards. The explanation: ether energy, an archaic concept dismissed by establishment physicists. Yet, in 2018, a classified DARPA experiment replicated Tesla's notes. Their findings? An unexplained surge of energy, unmeasured by conventional instruments. This data, a mere footnote in an obscure military archive, speaks volumes. The suppression is methodical. Enter J.P. Morgan, Tesla's primary financier. Morgan, a titan of industry, initially backed Tesla. But when the reality of free energy threatened his empire, rooted in copper and oil, he ceased funding. A documented letter from 1907 between Morgan and Thomas Edison reveals the plot. Ensure Tesla's folly is remembered as a pipe dream. This isn't speculation. It's documented collusion, a pact between oligarchs to maintain an energy monopoly. Fast forward to 2026. The global energy crisis looms large. Fossil fuels dwindle. Renewable sources falter. The mainstream media spins a narrative of inevitable scarcity. Yet, suppressed patents, declassified through a court order in 2024, detail Tesla's wireless power transmission. Imagine entire cities powered through the air, without wires, without pollution. But ask yourself, who profits from scarcity? The same corporations now lobbying against green tech advancements. The physical evidence compounds. In 2025, a team of rogue engineers reconstructed a scaled-down Wardenclyffe model in an undisclosed location. Built using Tesla's original blueprints, they achieved a sustained power output, enough to light a small town. Reports describe a hum, an omnipresent vibration, emanating from the tower, like a heartbeat of the Earth itself. This success, however, was swiftly contained. The engineers disappeared, their work dismissed as a hoax. Why? Because it threatened the entire economic fabric constructed around controlled energy. The silence about ether energy is deafening. Academic journals reject it as pseudoscience. But consider the anomalies. Data from geomagnetic observatories showing unexplained fluctuations during Tesla's experiments. These are not coincidences. They are deliberate omissions. The narrative is clear. If Tesla succeeded, the power structures, both literal and figurative, would crumble. The stakes in 2026 are unprecedented. As you listen, understand this: what they label as impossible is simply undisclosed. Tesla's vision was not just a technological leap, it was a social revolution, one that threatened to dismantle the very hierarchy of power. Remember the name Wardenclyffe. It was not just a tower, it was the key to a world they never wanted you to see. And that world is not a fantasy, it was stolen from us. In this declassified reality, Tesla's ether energy isn't just a dream stifled by history. It's a blueprint for a society unshackled from greed. Look closely at the patent archives, secured in a dusty basement of the Library of Congress, overlooked by those who thought they buried the truth. Patent number 685,957, filed in 1901, outlines a system to transmit electrical energy through the air. It's no coincidence that these documents were misfiled for over a century, because in 2026, these patents are the Rosetta Stone of an age-old conspiracy. Let's dissect the physics. Tesla envisioned a world where the Earth functioned as a colossal conductor of electrical frequencies. His method utilized the Schumann resonances, global electromagnetic resonances excited by lightning strikes in the atmosphere. By synchronizing with these frequencies, energy could be transmitted wirelessly across vast distances. Official science calls this impossible, yet the Global Lightning Detection Network registered unusual patterns during Tesla's Wardenclyffe experiments, patterns that have never been repeated or explained. Coincidence? Unlikely. The real disruption came with the introduction of Tesla's oscillators, devices that, when connected to the ground, could generate energy from the ambient electric field. In 2024, a series of leaked documents from the European Patent Office revealed a cluster of patents filed by anonymous entities, ostensibly private tech firms, claiming novel energy harvesting technologies. These patents are eerily reminiscent of Tesla's original designs. The conclusion is inevitable. We stand on the precipice of rediscovering a stolen technology. Now, consider the geopolitical implications. Nations have fought wars over oil and gas, but what happens when energy becomes as abundant as air? The petrodollar collapses. Economic sanctions become irrelevant. The very fabric of global power dynamics shifts. This is why the gatekeepers, the energy conglomerates, defense contractors, and political elites fear Tesla's legacy. It's not just about energy, it's about control. Contemplate the U.S. Senate hearings in 2025, where whistleblowers detailed a covert operation codenamed Project Black Wave, aimed at discrediting ether energy research. The hearings were covered by only a handful of independent outlets, overshadowed by orchestrated scandals. In 2026, the facade is cracking. Underground networks of scientists, engineers, and activists are re-engineering Tesla's devices. In hidden labs, they replicate his ether energy experiments, each success a nail in the coffin of the fossil fuel empire. These efforts have not gone unnoticed. Surveillance drones, encrypted communications, and cyber attacks have escalated, targeting these clandestine groups. Ask yourself, why such an aggressive response to what they claim is a scientific impossibility? The evidence of ether energy isn't just theoretical. It's tangible, it's operational, and it's being systematically erased. In 2025, a grassroots movement in the outskirts of Berlin demonstrated a fully functional Tesla coil system, illuminating their community for 48 hours without conventional power sources. The event, widely shared on encrypted platforms, was blacked out by mainstream media. The participants faced legal threats, their equipment confiscated under the guise of safety violations. This is a war for knowledge, a battle between opacity and transparency. The stakes? A future where energy is no longer a commodity, but a human right. Tesla's work, once deemed the folly of a madman, is the cornerstone of a suppressed reality that threatens to upheave the status quo. Each revelation, each rediscovered technology, is a step closer to freedom, a freedom that terrifies those who profit from chains. Question everything you've been told about impossibility. Because in 2026, the impossible is not just possible, it's inevitable. The truth buried beneath layers of deception will surface, and with it, the world Tesla envisioned, a world denied to us for far too long. As we delve deeper into this alternate 2026, the narrative of suppression becomes a tangled web of deception and greed. The implications of Tesla's ether energy reach far beyond mere technological advancement. They reveal the systemic rot at the core of our global institutions. Let's dissect the anatomy of this cover-up, beginning with the financial machinations deployed to stifle innovation. Recall the infamous Wall Street crash of 1929. Conventional history attributes it to economic mismanagement, but dig beneath the surface and a more sinister motive emerges. According to declassified banking records obtained under a Freedom of Information Act request in 2023, an orchestrated financial collapse was a strategic maneuver. It was designed to redirect public focus and funding away from burgeoning technologies like Tesla's and back into oil and coal. Controlled chaos, as it were, to ensure the continuity of energy monopolies. Consider the architectural remnants of Tesla's laboratories, scattered across the globe like forgotten relics. In Colorado Springs, the site of his most audacious experiments, ground-penetrating radar conducted by independent researchers in 2025 uncovered a labyrinth of metal conduits buried beneath the earth. These conduits, engineered to transmit electrical waves, suggest a scale of experimentation far beyond what the public has been led to believe. Yet, local authorities, citing environmental concerns, have restricted further investigation. What are they hiding beneath layers of concrete and bureaucracy? Now, shift your attention to the academic sphere. Prestigious universities, long considered bastions of knowledge, play an insidious role in the suppression of ether energy. A leaked 2021 internal memo from a leading Ivy League institution reveals a deliberate policy to marginalize research into non-conventional energy sources. The memo, marked confidential, describes ether energy as a disruptive threat to funding streams. The implication is clear. Education, too, is a pawn in this grand conspiracy, shaping generations to dismiss Tesla's breakthroughs as mere fantasy. The consequences of this intellectual sabotage are profound. By 2026, the world faces unprecedented environmental challenges. Climate change accelerates, ecosystems fracture, while potential solutions remain locked behind corporate vaults. It's no accident. The same conglomerates that push fossil fuels fund disinformation campaigns, labeling ether energy as unproven and dangerous. Yet, in 2024, a peer-reviewed study, published briefly before being retracted under dubious circumstances, showcased ether energy's viability in reducing carbon emissions by 40% within a decade. The suppression is not just scientific, it's cultural. Media empires with vested interests in maintaining the status quo propagate narratives that ridicule Tesla's vision. Remember the 2025 Hollywood blockbuster that portrayed him as a delusional eccentric? A subliminal message funded by the very industries threatened by his legacy. Public perception is a battleground, manipulated to ensure the continuation of energy dependence. Yet resistance is growing. In 2026, a coalition of renegade scientists and engineers forms the Vanguard Initiative, an underground network dedicated to the proliferation of ether technology. These pioneers operate in clandestine labs, their work reminiscent of Tesla's own relentless pursuit of knowledge. They share breakthroughs over encrypted channels, disseminating blueprints for DIY ether devices capable of powering homes independently of the grid. Their message is unequivocal: liberation through knowledge. As we confront this orchestrated obfuscation, the path forward becomes clear. Challenge the narratives. Demand transparency. For every gatekeeper silenced, a dozen more will arise, armed with the truth Tesla championed. The world poised to embrace ether energy is not a futuristic fantasy. It's a stolen reality, waiting to be reclaimed. In 2026, we stand at the threshold of a revolution, one that will redraw the boundaries of possibility and redefine what it means to be truly free. As we advance into this suppressed timeline of 2026, the revelations surrounding Tesla's ether energy cast long shadows over the constructs of modern civilization. We must examine the societal implications of a reality where energy scarcity is an engineered illusion. The ramifications are staggering, painting a picture of a world that could have been one where power is decentralized and universally accessible. Unravel the geopolitical fabric that binds us. Historically, energy scarcity has been wielded as a tool of control. Nations have been coerced, economies manipulated, and societies subjugated under the yoke of fossil fuel dependency. But imagine the disruption if Tesla's vision had been realized. A world powered by ether energy erases borders defined by resource disparity. In 2026, this potential remains suppressed, yet glimpses of possibility emerge in the form of decentralized energy collectives. These grassroots movements, operating under the radar, harness localized ether energy sources to fuel communities, challenging the hegemony of centralized power grids. Consider the military-industrial complex, a behemoth intricately tied to the maintenance of energy monopolies. Declassified military documents from 2025 reveal a chilling truth. Ether energy, recognized for its strategic potential, was classified as a national security threat. In these documents lies evidence of Project Silencer, a covert operation tasked with sabotaging ether energy research deemed a threat to defense contracts. The irony is palpable. Technology that could alleviate global conflict is instead subverted to perpetuate it. The corporate labyrinth, with its intricate networks of influence, plays a pivotal role in this grand conspiracy. In 2026, a whistleblower leaks internal communications from a multinational energy conglomerate, exposing a collusion between industry and government to suppress ether energy advancements. These emails detail a multi-billion-dollar lobbying effort aimed at stalling legislative support for alternative energy research. The objective? To maintain an iron grip on the energy market and keep the ether energy revolution at bay. The societal impact extends to healthcare and the environment. Imagine cities devoid of pollution, where ether energy powers everything from transportation to medical facilities. Tesla's vision promised a drastic reduction in air and noise pollution, leading to healthier populations and ecosystems. Yet, this potential reality is stifled by industries profiting from pollution control and pharmaceuticals. A 2025 independent research paper, briefly available before being buried under legal threats, documented the health benefits of communities utilizing ether technology. The findings were unequivocal: a 60% decrease in respiratory diseases and a significant drop in hospital admissions related to pollution. In 2026, cultural narratives continue to be manipulated. The arts, once a bastion of free expression, are subtly co-opted to perpetuate the myth of energy scarcity. Popular media churns out dystopian futures devoid of technological hope, convincing the masses that energy abundance is unattainable. Yet, beneath this cultural facade, a counter-movement of artists and thinkers emerges, using their platforms to challenge the prevailing narrative and reawaken the suppressed potential of ether energy. As we navigate this labyrinth of deceit, the imperative becomes clear: dismantle the structures of suppression. The Vanguard Initiative, by 2026, evolves into a global movement, advocating for policy changes and public transparency. Their rallies, though often censored, spark a worldwide awakening, igniting a demand for the liberation of ether technology. Tesla's legacy is not just a tale of technological triumph, but a testament to the resilience of truth against the tides of suppression. As we peel back the layers of deception, remember, this is not merely an alternative history. It is a call to arms, a demand for justice, and a rallying cry for those who dare to envision a world unbound by the chains of energy tyranny. The future Tesla dreamed of was stolen, but in 2026, the fight to reclaim it has only just begun. As we reach the culmination of this suppressed timeline, the vision of 2026 laid bare, we confront the stark reality of what has been systematically stolen from us. The global awakening to Tesla's ether energy is not just a technological renaissance. It is a rebellion against entrenched power structures that have dictated the limits of possibility for over a century. To fully comprehend the scope of this theft, examine the economic implications. In 2026, traditional energy markets are facing unprecedented pressure. Cryptocurrency-like energy credits, based on Ether energy usage, challenge fiat currencies, threatening to destabilize global economies. Financial institutions, those bastions of old world order, are scrambling to adapt. Leaked memos from the World Bank expose frantic meetings, revealing fears that widespread adoption of Ether energy credits could trigger a financial reset, obliterating debt-driven economies. The education sector, long manipulated to perpetuate the status quo, stands on the brink of metamorphosis. Underground universities, digital platforms, and independent scholars now proliferate, teaching Tesla's principles free from corporate influence. By 2026, these alternative education networks have outpaced traditional institutions in technological innovation, producing graduates fluent in Ether technology and its applications. The establishment views this as a threat, leading to increased surveillance and censorship of digital learning environments. The environmental impact of embracing Ether energy is profound. Imagine a world where deforestation halts, as Ether-powered machinery replaces conventional logging equipment. In 2026, clandestine ecological reports reveal vast tracts of rainforest spared from destruction, attributed to the covert deployment of Tesla's technology by eco-activist groups. These findings, shared via encrypted networks, paint a picture of a planet on the cusp of recovery, if only the shackles of suppression were fully broken. Social dynamics are also shifting. Communities empowered with Ether technology are rewriting the rules of society. Energy independence leads to self-sustaining microeconomies, free from corporate exploitation. Cooperative models of governance emerge, where energy is a shared resource rather than a commodity. In 2026, these communities, though small and often targeted by legal threats, represent the vanguard of a new societal structure, one that could scale globally if allowed to flourish. The resistance to this change is fierce. Corporate-funded think tanks publish disinformation campaigns, labeling Ether energy as a utopian fallacy. Yet, in 2026, whistleblowers within these organizations come forth, leaking internal communications that reveal fear, not of Ether energy's infeasibility, but of its inevitable success. The narrative they've spun is unraveling one truth at a time. In this year of reckoning, the Vanguard Initiative gains global momentum, their manifesto a clarion call for transparency and justice. Their demands are simple yet profound: declassification of all Ether technology patents, accountability for those who suppressed its development, and the restructuring of global energy policy to prioritize human and environmental welfare over profit. Tesla's legacy, once relegated to the fringes of pseudoscience, emerges as a beacon of possibility. His vision of an interconnected world powered by Ether energy is not a fantasy. It is a blueprint for liberation, hidden in plain sight. As we stand on the precipice of a new era, the question isn't whether Tesla's vision will be realized, but when. This is more than a narrative shift. It's a paradigm revolution. The gatekeepers of the past are losing their grip, their edifices of control crumbling under the weight of truth. In 2026, we are tasked with the responsibility to reclaim what was stolen, to demand the future that was denied to us. The fight for Tesla's Ether energy is not just a battle for technological progress. It is the struggle for a just and equitable world, one where power is truly in the hands of the people. The time has come to seize this reality, to awaken from the slumber of suppression, and to forge a new path toward energy freedom.